All right, guys, back on the S10 here again. A week later, had to go to work and all, but I have now put two starters, a new battery, um, and still I'm just getting one click. When you turn it, the ignition, one click. I've already swapped some relays under the fuse box, so I know the relay's fine. Uh, Clutch safety switch is good because if I don't push in the clutch, it doesn't click. When I push in the clutch, it does click. I've tested the voltage at the wires underneath. I disconnected them from the battery. Disconnected them from the starter. Put a multimeter on it. Had somebody turn the switch. I had 12.08 on the little switch side. I had 12.08 on the battery cable. So everything's good. That I can tell, yet I'm still just getting a click. The only thing I could think of at the moment is that's left to do is maybe shim the starter. I've never had to shim a starter in my life, and I've seen people have to because it was grinding or it was hanging or whatever. But I've never put a starter in a vehicle and the Bendix not be able to kick out and engage, and that's what it sounds like it's doing. So the starter's not spinning, I think, because the Bendix isn't able to kick out. I don't know if that's a safety thing or whatever, or the way they're designed. I don't know. I just don't know. I'm at my wit's end. I've checked everything electrical that I know to check. It's not the security side of this, because GM's, their pass lock will allow the vehicle to crank, and they'll even let it run for, I don't know, a second or whatever, and it only shuts off the electronic fuel pump. So it has nothing to do with the starter or the cranking of the vehicle itself. It'll still allow that to happen. So it's not that either. I don't know, man. I bought some shims. I'm about to try it. I still can't find my wheel lock key. I'm hoping if I get the thing running and take it to a parts store, I can see if they have something that'll match, because I can't find my key anywhere. So I can't even take the tires off or the wheel off to gain better access to do all this. But I've been perplexed. This stumped me all day Sunday and Monday of last week. And I've been thinking about it and watching videos and pretty much non-stop ever since. And like I said, the only thing I can come up with is that Bendix isn't engaging, and that I maybe need to shim that starter down some so that Bendix can engage with the flywheel. I'm hoping that's what it is. I'll get back with you here shortly, let you know what I find out. I guess you can see the starter a little bit there, or the solenoid anyway. Yeah, it's a couple of 13s down there to unbolt it. You ain't got to unbolt it all the way. I just got to loosen it up to slide the shim in. I got to take one bolt all the way out, but not both. All right, guys, been having some issues with the S10 starter related. Was using this when I was cutting up the Sierra. Drove it. Went to the parts store to get a piece for the Sierra. All I get was a single click, just one click. Replaced the starter twice, so two new starters. Brand new battery, still just a single click. Got a new AC Delco Gold or whatever cable. Mine, somebody, or I may have done it a long time ago, that was where it connected to the battery, and so I undid all that. I thought that might have been the cause, and that's the other end that was connected to the battery. But anyway, I got a new one of those, installed it, even went and bought, I don't know, a Klein Tool multimeter because my old school Craftsman wasn't working. Even got a pack of shims and installed 2 shims, a 20 and a 40, so a total of 60,000. It just sounds like the Bendix wasn't kicking out. That's why I shimmed it. But it's been a while since I've been down here, so the battery's dead. I'm charging it now. Over there you can see it's hooked up. But starter is now doing something very new. I don't know if it's going to do it with a battery that's dead. But I'll grab this. Here's my keys, or my key. And to show you it fits, see, key. All I'm doing is pressing the clutch, and you can clearly hear the starter engaging without the key in the ignition, without the ignition switch being in the on position, etc. It is in the off position. It isn't loose. It isn't out. You know, that's where it goes. I started taking this lower casing off, messing around with some of these wires because I was having security pass lock issues, thinking that might have been part of it. And I've had issues with this switch before where I could turn it back one spot to the accessory and still get the key to come out of the thing. Now that's a tumbler related problem, I'm fairly certain. But that is not a tumbler related issue. Just, you know, so at that point I thought clutch, it's kind of like a neutral safety switch. It's a clutch switch that won't allow you to start the vehicle unless the clutch is depressed. So I don't know if you can see it down in there. Took the old one out, put a new one in. Not sure if I did it right. It didn't seem like there was a place for it to live. It just seems like it clipped on the rod. But you know, you can see the hood pin there. I have an alarm on this, as you saw the remote too, a Viper. I think it's a 5706. Thought maybe that's causing a problem. I don't know. Well, anyway, the last thing I can think of is I ordered this. This took a few weeks to get in, almost a month to be honest with you, straight from Mexico. But that is the ignition switch. Now I've got to get under here and take these under pieces out so I can gain access. It's going to be a bit of an issue because, like I said, I got an alarm hooked up. You see the valet switch sticking out over there. So I got to disconnect all that alarm stuff. I'm not going to bother reconnecting any of it until I get the switch in and see if that resolves my current problem with the starter. If I put the key in and turn it into the on position and then use my foot to press the clutch for the starter to engage, it will engage. But if I use the key to try to turn it and get the starter to engage, it does nothing. It has to be the ignition switch. I don't know what else it could be. I'm at a loss. If this doesn't fix it today, I don't know where to go from here other than start tracing wires. And it went from just doing a click to this clutch situation. I'm sure a lot of you know how to arc the 2 posts on the starter to get the starter to engage. Well, I did that and it blew a 40 amp fuse in here. I've traced it down, figured it out, thought it might be relays, moved some relays, all that kind of stuff. So none of the relays are bad. I replaced the fuse, so none of the fuses are bad. This is just kind of sitting here. But you know, I've done everything else that I can think of. I mean, the starter circuit is a simple circuit. I don't know why it's giving me so much headache. But I wanted to capture all of this for y'all, let you know why I haven't been working, you know, on the Sierra over there. This is my backup vehicle, so when the Sierra goes down for me to, cut the frame and everything, this is what I'll be driving. So I got to make sure, that I can actually drive it. Otherwise, I ain't got a ride. I'm gonna, try to get this going, try to get, that right there installed, and see if that resolves my problem. I don't know what to do other than replace that switch. I've replaced the battery cable. Let me show you that real quick. Not that there's much to see, but so here's the battery cable I replaced, and it comes over to the alternator. Then it goes down. There's also another wire that goes under your battery, and on the what do they call this? The core support. There's a mega fuse down here, and then it runs from there over and up to right here to your fuse box. I've already checked that. All this has got power. Every fuse is good. All the relays are good. This wire is now 100% good. It's brand new, all AC Delco stuff. To the starter, it's not. To the alternator, it's not pinched or anything. Now that alternator could be bad. That's something I'll have to deal with later, because this battery keeps dying on me after like 2 weeks of sitting here. And this is a red top Optima, brand new, and you can see right now it's at 25%. It's been 2 weeks since I've been down here. Now that could be the alarm, causing a draw. I don't know. It could be a ground feedback or something going on as well. But I can't really diagnose any of that yet. My main priority is to get this thing where I can get in it, start it, and go. Then this can be my daily while we cut this thing up. Now, if you haven't watched the other videos on this truck, let me show you what I'm talking about cutting it up. Already got the bed off. Already got the gas tank raised cross member, whatever you want. Now, if you haven't watched the other videos on this truck, let me show you what I'm talking about cutting it up. Already got the bed off. Already got the gas tank raised cross member, whatever you want to call it. You see I got a few marks here on the frame. We're about to C-notch it. I've already built a thing to go back here to hold the air tanks. I got to still build something for the air compressors. I went ahead and upgraded air compressors from the 40 to the 45s. So I'll save the 444s for the S10 whenever I do it, if I ever do it, or as backups. But before I go cutting this out, I have to drop the gas tank and everything in order to cut that side of the frame out over there and C-notch it, as well as put the pockets in and the lower link bars in and all that stuff. So it'll be down for a little bit while I do all that. And while this is down, like I said, I need a ride. So one project in order to do another project. That's just kind of how it goes, guys. This truck I don't drive very often, the S10. So it's one of the worst things you can do to a vehicle is not drive it. But let me get that installed, and I'll get back with you and show you what's up. Do yourself a favor and disconnect your cable from that bracket right there, your release cable. But there's a few bolts, 7 millimeters, that go under here that hold the bottom plate on, the plate that comes all the way up under here. There's a couple more that hold this piece that goes across here. Once you get all them, you can see them right there. Once you get all them, you got a metal knee bolster thing that's got a 10 millimeter. So, see that one there? There's two. There's two more on the other side. Now I had an alarm. You can see it right here, and I went ahead and checked the fuses while I was at it because I didn't know what the culprit was. You're gonna have to undo all your wiring. Be careful with this one. Don't, this is your airbag. once you get the plug out, it's a 7mm. See if you can see it. It's a 7mm plug inside the wire right there. You can kind of see it. Once you get them out, you got to take the left and the right side off. They'll only fit one way. One's shorter, shorter and one's taller. One's gray and one's black. And you got to undo all the wires that go up the steering column. I didn't show you mine because for mine I had an alarm, so I had extra wires I had to snip and cut loose, etc. So I had a wire plugged into this, and several things that I had tied into on this piece. And this yellow wire is separated, and it goes to a green and purple wire on the alarm, which is like your starter interface. This alarm had remote start. I never used it because it's a manual and it's a little trickier to get set up as far as tying into the brake or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, it's been a long time since I put that in, so I'm going by memory here. I ordered two of these. One is a GM, AC Delco or GM part off of eBay. Ordered it about a month ago. Still have not received it. I got an update 2 days ago saying it had finally arrived in New York, come from overseas. So I went in and ordered this one, the one I just put in, off of Amazon. And it's one of them cheap Chinese EM deals. I think it's Evan Fisher or whatever. I do not like it. I'm going to tell you now. This mechanism right here is a gear-driven. You hear that click, and you can actually see the spring motion for the starter. And every key position, it's got a definite click to it. This new one does not. It is cheap. I about never got the wire. See the wire on top there? Come on, focus camera. That wire there, I like to never got it to go around and get up into place. It needed to be, I don't know, a 1/4 inch longer. It was so tight. But I got it. This is that piece right there with the white connector that you see. All right, you see the white connector here. This has got some little springy action detent things, one on that side and one right above that white section on that side. You got to go in here and you got to go through that hole there and this one over here, and you got to put a pick or a small screwdriver or something in there and just push on it. And now on my old switch, I just grabbed a hold of these two wires and pulled them down to pull it out of the slot. Make sure you've already got this, instead of being up in there like that, you've already got it down and loose, otherwise it'll kind of hold it there. But that's what you do to get it out. Key don't have to be in any specific spot, but just make sure those gears are lined up the same way the old gears came out. So when you pull this out, the old one out, inspect that gear. There's one section on it that's got a wider gap. Inspect it and make sure. See the gap there? And then there's no teeth, but they got one tooth and then that gap, and then the rest of the teeth are close together. Make sure wherever that comes out, you put the new one in that same position. Otherwise, when you put your ignition switch back in, you might not have all the positions you need. It might be in the wrong position. When you go to crank it, nothing happens, etc. It's no big deal though. You just take the wire loose, pull it back out, and reclock it. I like to put it all the way in the accessory position, but this key tumbler is not wanting to go back to the accessory position, so I put it in the off, normal off position, which there's no definite like detent as far as the spring mechanism, so it's kind of hard to tell if it's in the right spot or not. But that's what I did, and I had to take it back out once and put it back in, and then I got it right. So the question that, you know, we need to know is, now it is not starting, the starter is not cranking, not turning over when I'm pressing the clutch. Remember earlier with the key out, which that one's out, I mean it's not out, but it's out. All I had to do was press that clutch right there and the starter would engage. Now, it's key driven. So that fixed it. I cannot believe it, but that fixed it. All right, guys, that is the end of the saga with the starter that has been over a month long. I'm so glad. Now, most likely I'm going to leave this undone. I know this is the issue. When that new part comes in, the GM part, I'm going to swap them out. Just going to throw in the GM part and send that one back to Amazon where they can put it in the trash or whatever they do with it, because that thing is a piece of crap. You hear me with a bit of a speech impediment. I had some dental work done and still healing, this and that. So I don't know if you noticed before, but I was missing a tooth and all that. But anyway, I had a bunch of work done. Still getting used. Still getting used to it all. So bear with me on that. I do apologize. I know I sound like an idiot, but I just wanted to let you know, get you updated. So now that I got this thing starting, now I can take to the store and find a key for those locks that are on the wheels, and maybe I can get them spindles finally installed and make this my daily again, at least for a little while I tear down the great truck. Anyway, thanks for stopping by. Do all the YouTube things, you know, the boo, whatever. If you want to, do what you want. Appreciate y'all watching. Stay tuned. Lots more to come. Eventually, we're going to get back on this S10. You know, I've got doors, I've got a fiberglass up. Those are probably going to go away. But, you know, down there, that was a false floor for the amps. I'm probably going to change a bunch of stuff up. You know, I got a custom built subwoofer enclosure that goes over there where the seat used to, the little fold down third seat. You know, that door panel. You know, we got a bunch of stuff still left to do. I haven't made up my mind on what exactly I want to do. And don't forget, we still got the sub box for the Sierra that I haven't done anything with in 2 months. Got a lot going on, guys. I hate that it's taken so long to get these parts in, but I couldn't move forward on one truck and not have something else to drive. So I hope you understand. Hope you be patient with me. Y'all be good.